Madam Chair, such a respectful thing to disregard the opening statements of my Prime Minister.
Here, here.
Nicola said that hooliganism is apparently a thing of the past. Something happened in the 80s. Madam Chair, the police officer that was killed just happened last February in Italy, Madam Chair. Notice, not in Britain, not in Ireland, Madam Chair, but in Italy with Italians involved. So all these ideas of his that it's not about the Italians, it's about Britons, don't really matter in this debate because we're debating on this context, given this idea. But now that we've seen that this thing still does happen in status quo, we've seen that the national government is ineffective, it's not working. So one argument about that, Madam Chair. They decide to stick to status quo without defending how it's which I'm still waiting for a response from their side. My first issue, but not necessarily the most important, is this issue about whether UEFA will prioritize security over sales in Madam Chair. Because Nicola presents an image of UEFA being incredibly inhumane, Madam Chair, prioritizing profit solely over the protection of its fans, Madam Chair. His analysis is that there are always alternatives to going to the stadiums because prices will be high. First rebuttal to this, Madam Chair, is that there were always alternatives to the stadium and the prices were always exorbitantly high. Besides that, despite that, stadiums still fill to the brim. About these games. It's not going to be an issue, Madam Chair. Sit down. Beyond that, Madam Chair, UEFA, we admit, does care about profit, which is precisely why they will prioritize security, because it's such a big disincentive for it to be reported that a fan or a police officer was killed during one of your games, Madam Chair. And that is something that will definitely lower sales. It's something we should definitely try, they will definitely try to avoid if they are, in fact, profit-oriented. So we do concede that they are profit-oriented, but that's something that will push them further towards the second issue, Madam Chair, is that where is it easier to stop immediate violence the moment that the riot breaks out? Because Nicola's idea here is that it will spill out over onto the pubs, Madam Chair, onto drinking companions who may hit each other once in a while. Madam Chair, and he's saying that this is something UEFA obviously can't handle. Madam Chair, I find it extremely unreasonable to put this burden onto UEFA. All the pubs in a single, in the whole country, Madam Chair, because the reasoning why riots break out in pubs is extremely arbitrary, Madam Chair. For any number of reasons, for drunkenness, Madam Chair, for a number of insults not necessarily related to the soccer game itself, Madam Chair. Because of that arbitrariness, you cannot pin that on UEFA and pin the responsibility on UEFA. Therefore, that responsibility still lies with national government. It's been never took away from the beginning. But beyond that, Madam Chair, we say that that's an external issue because most hooliganism starts at the stadium. Because in the stadium or outside the stadium, where emotions are highest, Madam Chair, you don't feel the emotion that is right there at the moment where people are screaming for the player just made a score, Madam Chair. It's entirely a different scenario than from watching it in a pub or watching it at the stadiums. So this is where we should put our focus on, Madam Chair, with the help of both national and UEFA higher security force. But here is where their most contentious issue comes in. And I believe the biggest thing, what their DLO spent the most time on. We will actually disallow national authority inside these stadiums. First of all, as I will read, we never specifically disallowed them from entering the stadium, Madam Chair. We said that it would be up to the discretion of UEFA and the national authority. But if that's not what you got, Madam Chair, assuming that you did say that, and I really doubt he did, Madam Chair, imagine the propensity of the national authority not being allowed into a stadium if it really matters, Madam Chair, because the national authority can always overrule anything it's not a separate state that can make of that national authority. So we say here, if it really is such an important issue, a huge security issue, Madam Chair, for example, the president is visiting and wants to watch the game, then of course the national security is going to be involved in that. But in general, Madam Chair, we see it going to be the National Security Force and the UEFA Security Force will work in coordination. It's not as if UEFA is such a grudge against the national authority that they won't let them which if it's really necessary. For my second issue, yes. Third issue.
If you concede that national authorities are highly necessary and have a high stake on this, then why do you need this transfer of responsibility?
I believe my previous speakers already answered that because the National Security Force already, in status quo, first of all, is insufficient. That's why we need an additional security force. A security force that is more consistent in its application of its rules, Madam Chair, and not the relative standards that national authorities use. Last issue. What really, whose paradigm really works to disincentivize hooliganism in the future, or this whole supposed culture of hooliganism? They're saying that we should stick to national authorities because the first reason, UEFA doesn't compose of all tournaments. Well, this step, Madam Chair, by UEFA sets a precedent to be taken in those countries where UEFA doesn't hold tournaments, Madam Chair. That's how it's going to spread out to other football associations. But beyond that, Madam Chair, they're saying that UEFA has actually less incentive to stop hooliganism, which I find hard to believe. They're saying, first of all, there's a high standard on hooliganism, that a root comment could be hooliganism, Madam Chair. That's not true, because hooliganism is very easy to identify, Madam Chair. Because riots break out, skulls break out, and people start getting hurt, people start getting killed, Madam Chair. That's how you define hooliganism, and it's not arbitrary at all, Madam Chair. I don't see why there's such a high, it is high standard, but it's easy to identify, Madam Chair. But beyond that, they're actually saying that UEFA capitalizes on this hooliganism. They are allowing it for their profits. Another thing I find really hard to believe, because UEFA doesn't capitalize on hooliganism, Madam Chair. It capitalizes on the excitement of its something that's there's nothing wrong with cultivating, Madam Chair. Because you have to differentiate between excitement, pure love of the team, and hooliganism, Madam Chair. Because there is a threshold that you have to cross between being excited about it and actually committing violent acts because of it, Madam Chair. So we say that really, in their paradigm that UEFA relies on hooliganism is false. They do have a huge incentive to stop this hooliganism as well. And they'll be better able to do that with their own rights security force, along with the national authority. Thanks very much.